The following keyboard shortcuts are very convenient in selecting data for Excel. Some of them are almost indispensable when dealing with a large Excel file like this one on the right. There are quite a few of them, but they are just combination between the keys on the left column and the right column. I'll go over some of them here step by step. First, let's look at arrow keys. You select a key, you can hit arrow keys of the 4 different directions to move to an adjacent cell. Then now let's look at the combination of Shift plus arrow key. If you select a cell, press down Shift key, then hit arrow key once, you can select neighboring cell cumulatively in all different 4 directions. Now let's look at Shift key plus cursor. So you need to first select the top cell of the intended range with cursor, and then you can scroll down to find the bottom right cell of the intended range. Now you press down Shift key, and now you select the bottom right of the intended range with the cursor. This way you can find the rectangle of the data you wanted. Let's now look at the combination of Control and arrow keys. Again, you select a key, you press down Control, and now you hit the arrow key once. For example, I will hit upward arrow key once. It's going to jump to the beginning of this column. If I, again holding down Control key, I hit the downward arrow key, it's going to go to the last row where data ends. And notice in this particular case, this Excel file has an empty cell in this particular position. So now if I continue to hit downward key, now it's going to go to the bottom of the data range. And let me try another column without any empty cells. Again, I will select a cell, I press down Control, I hit downward key once, it's going to jump to the end of that column. Now if I press upward key, it's going to jump to the very beginning of that column. So similarly, you can do horizontally. If I select a key, I press down Control, I hit left arrow key, it's going to jump to the beginning of the row. If I hit right key, it's going to jump to the end of that row. By the way, for MacBook user, you simply just need to replace Control key with Command key for the same functions. Now look at the next combination, which is the Control plus cursor. I will select a key, I will select a cell, and I will press down Control, and I will select another cell. This way it allows me to select multiple non-adjacent cells with cursor cumulatively. Now let's look at the next combination, which is the Control plus Home. In this case, for MacBook user, the Home key in the PC is equivalent to the combination of function plus left arrow for MacBook. So again, we select a cell, we press down Control. When I hit Home key in PC, it's gonna jump back to the A1 cell. So this is similar to the next combination. The next combination, if you press down Control and you hit the N key in the PC, it's going to jump to the very bottom right cell that has data in it. But sometimes if you do this and then you notice that your cell that becomes activated is somewhere here, that means there's some format information in these cells that they are invisible to you, but it's not completely empty. Let's now look at more combinations. Shift plus Control plus arrow keys. It's going to give you the combined effect of using Shift or Control separately. Let's do a quick review of what Shift plus arrow key does. So if I select a cell, I press down only Shift key. It's going to allow me to choose one cell at a time, but cumulatively. But then if I press Control key and hit arrow, it's going to jump to the end of that column. If I press upward, it's going to jump to the beginning of that cell. So if I use the two keys in combination by pressing them down together, it's going to have this effect, which is select from the whole column from that beginning cell. And I can press the rightward key. It's going to select all the columns from that cell to the rightmost column. And similarly, you can guess what these combination would do. If I select a key, if I select a cell, and I press down Control and Shift together, then I press Home key, it's going to select the rectangle that starts from A1 and ends at the cell you selected initially. And similarly, if I select a cell and press down Control and Shift, and then I press the End key, it's going to select from the cell you selected to the very end of the data set. So we can do some more practice here. So how can I select n adjacent columns by using those combinations? So let me go back to the top A1 cell by press down Control key and hit Home key. Now, for example, if I want to select the A column, B column, and C column, so I can first select the top cell of the first column. I will press down Shift key, and I can hit the right arrow keys two times in this case, to select the first row of the three columns that are adjacent. Now I would press down Control, and then I will hit the End key. Sorry, I will hit the downward key. It's gonna enable me to select the whole three columns. Now let me get back to the A1 by using Control Home. Now let's look at the second practice, how to select n non-adjacent columns. So this one is slightly more tricky. So you can accomplish that goal by doing this. So you select the top cell of the first column with cursor. For example, I want to select column A, column C, and column E. So I would select first cell, then I would press down Control and Shift key, and then I will hit downward arrow to select the first column. Now I need to hold Control key while release Shift key. Now I can select the bottom cell of the next column that I want to select with my cursor. Now I need to press down Shift key again, and then I will hit up arrow to select the second column. Now I need to again hold the Control key and release the Shift key and select the top cell of the third column with my cursor. And now I will press down Shift key and hit down arrow again. Now I have selected the three non-adjacent columns. So you can repeat this for as many columns as you need. So selecting two adjacent keys is really convenient. For example, if I need to do a scatter plot between these two columns, I will again select the first cell, I'll press down Control Shift to select the first column. Now I'm going to release Shift key and select the bottom column, bottom cell, and then I'll press down Shift again. The reason I need to hit multiple times in this column is there's empty cells here. Now I have selected the two non-adjacent columns. Now I can do a quick scatter plot by insert a scatter plot this way. So this is almost indispensable tool when you need to select data for in a large Excel file.